And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon. Today I am talking with Adam Povlitz. Adam, man, thank you for being my guest today.
Thanks for having me, Michael. Good to be here.
Well, you're welcome. It's going to be a great conversation. So Adam is now I think CEO of Anago Cleaning. It's a commercial cleaning franchise, but they do franchising a little bit differently. So before the show, I was talking with him and I just really asked him to come clean on this whole franchising thing. So that's what we're going to talk about, and it's going to be really cool. So Adam, I tell you what, as we get into that conversation, why don't you tell me? I mean, how in the world did you get doing what you're doing today?
Definitely a combination of by birth and by accident, let's just say. So my father founded the business in 1989, but I was never going to be part of the family business or anything like that. I was a go it on your own kind of guy. I went corporate finance, and I was actually with IBM back in 2008, 2009.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and you get hired in this real big wave. Then, of course, they do a huge wave in that era of layoffs during that big recession. I wasn't laid off. I was actually one of the financial analysts, and they gave me employee numbers, and I was analyzing and helping determine basically, who they were giving the golden parachutes to, and who was not getting the so very golden parachutes.
Right.
And that leaves a real bad taste in your mouth because you go, man, I could easily be in the corporate world 20 years from now, and now some kid they just hired is analyzing my employee number.
Right.
I happened to be down visiting my family over the holidays, and my dad said, "Man, I think I got the tiger by the tail with this Anago thing. You got to come check it out." And it was about 6 months later that I joined. And he goes, "Congratulations, you've left your highfalutin finance job, and your first job at Anago, since it's a cleaning business, is you're going to be cleaning a daycare at night as a franchisee's assistant, and you're going to be a telemarketer by day." And this was pre-diaper genie times, right? So this was,
Oh,
55-gallon drum of diapers that you had to, hold your breath and tie it off and kind of, run out to get that thing out. But I had to work through all the positions, and eventually I worked through the positions in the local franchise, and then eventually they brought me to the corporate office. Um, and the funny story is so I'm the former president was retiring, and when they promoted me to president, he got me a business card holder that said PUDSOBIC. And I go, what the heck does that mean? It doesn't say president. And what is that? Pudsobic? What is that? And he goes, it stands for poor, unfortunate, dumb SOB in charge.
I love it. I love it. Spoken from somebody who's probably been there, right?
Exactly.
That's great. Well, yeah, that's good. I did not know it was a kind of a family business to start with. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. No, my father founded it. My sister was involved for a long time, and then I got involved. It was 2009, and been here ever since.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's good when you find a good thing like that. So we've got a family business as well. My son, my 29-year-old son Caleb, is my chief operating officer. My wife's my bookkeeper. And it's fun to watch the kids come into the business when they're ready,
Yes.
and because that makes all the difference in the world.
Oh yeah.
And but to have that vision of a generational type business that not only for our family but for our clients and for the people we serve, our teammates and things. And it sounds like that's kind of what Anago has put in place. But you've also, I mean, you've climbed the corporate ladder, so you're now CEO, right?
Correct.
I got that right. So you went through the president thing, you became CEO. Probably got another business card. And but you guys do things differently than, franchising is a really cool concept for business owners because you don't have to start from scratch.
Right.
You've already got a playbook, you've got a system that works, you've got to work the playbook, right? This is not some, I'll buy this and not do anything. No, you work. But talk a little bit, help us understand a little bit about Anago. I mean, only commercial cleaning, commercial resident. What do you do? Give us a high level kind of aspect, and then let's talk about how you've kind of pivoted the whole franchise opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but probably I should start with our model because it's franchise. It's not like any franchise model that most of your listeners are probably even remotely familiar with. Most people, you think franchising and you think, McDonald's or something, right? And it's the people
Right. Yeah. love that.
that, there's the people that own the corporate offices, and then there's
Mhm.
people that run the stores. Is what we would call a two-tier franchise. Ours is
Okay.
a three-tier franchise, so it's a little unique. It's common actually in the commercial cleaning industry, but it's not common really anywhere else in the country that I can think of.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Okay.
and so the way it works is we have so I run the corporate office. We have
Okay.
what's called a master franchise, and that's someone who owns like a major metro area, right? So think like Atlanta, Philadelphia, Houston, big major metro areas. And then
Okay.
within their metro area, they're selling what we call unit franchise. And unit franchises are people looking to get into the cleaning business. So the easiest way to think of it is flip it upside down, right? And when I say commercial cleaning, the first thing that pops into everybody's head is probably going to be, the guy with a mop and a bucket or a vacuum or something like that, and doing the cleaning. And that is actually what you would think of when you're thinking of our unit franchise, right? So they're going to own a cleaning business. They're going to hire crews, learn the chemicals, equipment, and keep the buildings clean, keep the customers happy. Um, but if you take a step back and you go, well, where did he get that contract from? How did he get in the door at that out of that particular office?
Mhm.
Um, who's does he have a salesperson? How is he collecting on all the clients he's cleaning? So what our franchise does is it breaks the kind of the nighttime cleaning, right? Because most cleaning's done at night from the
Right.
daytime, or sometimes it's easier to say like the blue collar from the white collar, and it says, wait a minute, let everyone focus on what they're best at. And so someone who's looking to own a cleaning business might not be the best, sales guy, website marketer, accountant, right, by
Right.
trade. And so what our model does is it says, well, wait a minute. What if we have this master franchise person who their background's going to be that corporate America, white collar, they've managed a sales team or a customer service team, and they're going to be the ones handling the quote unquote day job of the cleaning business. Because otherwise, right, if I said, Michael, you're going to start Michael's cleaning business, it's 24/7, right? You're getting clients all day. You got to get the bills out, get the bills paid, handle any customer requests or any issues like that. And now it's 5 o'clock and you take off your white collared shirt and you put on your jeans and you got to go clean. It just doesn't stop. So our
Right.
model basically creates a cool synergy where the unit franchises have zero sales staff. They don't need, you don't need any kind of accounting staff or anything like that. It's a very low cost, low barrier to entry business. And then on the master franchise, these guys are in the cleaning business, but have zero people that they employ that do any cleaning. So it's all sales. It's a sales and marketing franchise that just happens to be in the cleaning business.
Interesting. That is okay. All right. That's a really cool model. As you're explaining that, I immediately go back to Michael Gerber and his book, that he wrote years ago, The E Myth, and
Yeah,
how a cleaning guy says, "I'm going to start my own company," and he goes, "Ugh," because of all that other stuff. And you basically said, "Fine, I've got a place for you to do cleaning because you're a technician, and
right.
that's totally cool to be a technician." And um, that's fascinating because it reminds me of how a lot of plumbing and electrical guys around where I live in Lexington, I see their trucks everywhere, but it's not the owner doing the electrical, it's the technician. But
Right.
he works for the guy. And
Right.
what you've allowed them to do is have their own business, one being the technician doing the cleaning, but a different guy owning another business who's sales and marketing oriented, who's not out cleaning businesses, and they're working together. Did I get it?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, the analogy you said was perfect with Michael Gerber's stuff. I mean, that's great. Where, I mean, if like again, if someone said, oh, you should start a restaurant. You're a fabulous cook. Well, there's clearly a massive difference between being a great cook and running a restaurant where you're dealing with marketing, recruiting, inventory, spoilage, staffing,
Yeah.
all these crazy things you have to do in running a restaurant is very different from being a really good cook.
Right.
And in the same vein, owning a cleaning business, right? I mean, it's not rocket science. We'll be the first to say that. You have to do a good job. You have to know the right chemicals and equipment to use. But I mean, you're going to be working, as many, I mean, hell, as many hours as you want to work.
Right.
as many buildings as you want to clean and as big a staff as you want. And that's, I mean, that's going to take you 40, 50, 60 hours a week, depending on how big you want to grow. And then, oh,
Right.
by the way, wake up next morning and you got to go sell and do
Yeah.
accounting and so it allows people to focus on their core area of strength and
Yeah.
invest all 100% of their efforts in that.
Okay. So the unit franchisee and the um what was the metro franchisees? Is that what you said?
We say master franchise,
Master franchise.
a
So
regional territory. Yeah.
okay, do they work together then? So if, so for instance, if the unit guy says, "Hey, I'm starting, and oh by the way, I've got four more guys to do it, and we can take more business. Hey, master guy, can you go sell some more stuff?" Is that how it
That's
works? Or
exactly. Exactly.
interesting.
And so anytime a unit franchise wants to grow with more business, they go to the regional master franchise and say, "Hey, I got a bigger team. Can we get some more accounts?" Obviously, there's royalty and everything like that involved in
Sure.
a franchise, but it allows someone to grow their business. So we just got rated. We're the number three franchise under 50,000 according to Entrepreneur Magazine, the Anago Unit Franchise Opportunity. I literally just came out. Um,
Congratulations.
and yeah, huge award. We're super excited about it. But the beauty of it is someone can start it. It's their business. They own it. And it can be just a total side hustle if that's what they're looking for. Like, hey, I want to do something after hours, make some extra cash. Or, I mean, I just gave an award, I think it was last summer to a gal. She has a cleaning business, a unit franchise cleaning business that did over $1 million in revenue last year at the unit franchise level. So you can have someone who, hey, I just want to make a couple extra bucks, to someone who's like, I'm going to build like a cleaning empire here
Right.
and
Right.
really, scale this thing.
So well that's fascinating because on the so let's get it down to the unit level. These are the people who are out cleaning around the midnight and all that stuff. They have basically what they're doing is they're they're getting the clients from the master. So he sells a 3 unit building or whatever, and you're like, got it. And now I've got a staff. I've got to have my staff to go out and clean that on a regular basis, whatever that is. I have my own cleaning supplies and all that stuff. But that's it, really. That's my overhead, making sure I've got the right employees, the right stuff, and I'm serving the client with excellence. Now, here's my question in that. When it's not done with excellence and there's a problem, who does the client call?
So that we set everything up through, we actually have a technology that we use. It's called CleanCom. It's a proprietary technology to us. And I guess what's most people's cleaning experience when they have a problem, right? First of all, it's like, who cleans this place half the time, right? It's like, who cleans this place? Uh, maybe the old school way is there's like a binder somewhere and you leave a note, or a lot of times, right, you turn into the situation where you're going like, I don't know who cleans the place, but I'm going to leave a little note and I'm going to sticky it to the front door or something like that for when the cleaners get here. And then half the time, right? I mean, especially with the changing demographics in the country, you go, do they speak English? Do we have someone, can we write something in their native language to make sure we're communicating? So it just turns into this mess.
Yeah.
And so what we've done is with CleanCom, number one, it's all through your smartphone, right? Everyone's addicted to their phone, so we may as well use it. You take out your phone, right? You take out your phone, you take a picture of whatever the issue is that you're seeing. Oh, this trash can didn't get emptied. What's going on here? You take a picture. It sends a message to the franchise owner that's cleaning your building in particular. It
Right.
has a built-in 2-hour response guarantee, so you will get a response within 2 hours. You're not wondering and leaving a note in a binder or anything like that. It has built-in Google Translate, so you can speak in any language you want. They can speak in any language they want, and y'all can communicate. It's all private. You're not changing cell phone numbers or anything like that. It's all through our software. And then we deliberately took it a step further because we're in the age of AI, and we put analytics in there. So now, if a particular franchisee has 3 complaints on, trash cans being not, left full, the master franchisee in that territory can say, "Hey, let's bring you back in and have a retraining on how to make sure we're doing all of this, so that we can
Yeah.
eliminate the problems going forward." So it takes all of the headaches of getting your office cleaned and narrows it down to a click of a button on your cell phone to get it resolved and get it resolved fast.
That's amazing. That is really amazing because what just hit me here is, we came into this. I'm like, okay, we're talking to my audience about people who might want to do a franchise at one level, or the regional master level, or the unit level. But you just brought it into the opposite side of the coin, to the business owners who are hiring or needing to hire franchise or people to clean their office.
Right.
Where do I find those people? I can only imagine how many cleaning companies you would probably go through in a year or two. I'm
Exactly.
guessing.
Exactly. There,
Whereas now, if they just call you guys, done deal.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's fast in that way. And the beauty is that, say just, God forbid, you just can't work it out. You're just not jiving with that particular unit franchise, and you've made requests and there's issues, and they still can't resolve it. Well, you also have all the information for that regional office. So when they see, hey man, this guy keeps getting complaints, and we're pulling him out to fix it, that master franchisee is working with, dozens of unit franchisees in the area. So we can say, hey, listen, rather than leaving Anago, let's
Right.
have someone else that we think maybe can fit you, what you're looking for. We can bring them in, you can interview them, make sure they're comfortable with them, and let's get the right service provider in there for you. So once you've gone with us, you never have to leave.
Right. Yeah. So your regional master guy or gal, they basically have, yeah, they have their own franchise of multiple cleaning companies, all Anago groups that are, dare I say, they're independent, because there's a connection, but there's not a connection, right? It's a dotted line, so that shifts can take place if needed. And that's just like a really wicked cool model. How'd you how'd you guys come up with that? Just is that the idea your dad started with when he said, "I got the tiger by the tail"?
So, I can't, we can't take credit for it. There is another model that, that I won't name, right? I
That's
won't,
okay. No, that's okay.
but they are the McDonald's of the space. They
Okay.
created the model. I think, maybe we've, dare I say, perfected it, but we've improved
Sure.
on it
Yeah.
tremendously since that model was created. And it allows for, like I said, everyone to focus on what their core strength is, and
Yeah.
it doesn't require everyone to be an expert on everything in managing every aspect of a business.
But no, and totally. I mean, going back all the way to, good God, Henry Ford, right? Because he built the assembly line when he looked at a meat packing plant in Chicago, really, and he got the idea. He's like, wait a minute, one guy doesn't need to build a car. One guy can put on brakes, and that's all you do, right? And that's kind of the model here. Is if I know a lady back in Little Rock, Arkansas, and she started cleaning houses, right? And so she's got more people now, she got more houses now, and she's got more headaches now. And it's like, because she's trying to do it, she's working the around the clock thing. Because it's like, but if somebody was out there getting the jobs for them, and
Right.
it's like, I just love to clean houses. Great. Or I love to talk to people about cleaning their house, but I don't want to touch the
Right.
stuff. And that's really what you've brought to the table, is the ability for somebody to start a business with, dare I say, without all of the headaches of running an entire business. Because you say, but in a sense, which one do you want to be, right? Do you want to be the regional person, or do you want to be the cleaning person? Now, if a cleaning person grows and ends up getting the idea that I want to become a regional, but they can't because they're in, could they move? Do you have like open franchises in different areas? How would that work if they grew their business and said, I'm done cleaning, I've got my cleaning crew, I want to go? So how does that work?
So, yeah, the idea behind that is that, once someone owns the master franchise for a region, I mean,
Yeah,
they own that region. So
sure,
the,
sure.
the unit franchise could potentially buy that master franchise region from that person, or if they said, yeah, I'm looking at a different part of the country, that we've had that happen. We've had,
Okay.
multiple times where a unit franchise has grown so large, they go, listen, I know how to do the sales side of it. I know how to do the accounting side of it. I want to focus less on the cleaning and more on
Yeah,
I got the gift of gab and I want to go sell.
right.
That's obviously an opportunity as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to make sure everybody hears this, that you talked about the unit franchise person you have who grossed $1 million last year, and it's like, wait a minute, you don't have to be a regional franchise owner to make good money with this. You can do that, right? And I think and I love that, because I think so many times people try to get into business and they're like, oh, but I got to do this and this and that, and I got to have that to do. No, you can actually empty trash cans all night long when you do it right with a model, and you can earn a tremendous living by building your own business
Right.
doing just that. Is that fair?
Yeah, and scale it slightly up, right? Because it's not like they're personally emptying the trash cans at that
Right.
scale. They might
Right.
have to, right? I mean, it is the cleaning
Well,
business, so sometimes you got to roll up your sleeves. But at that level, even as a unit franchise, right? Now it's all about people management, right?
yeah.
It's hey, let's make sure we have we're using the Anago training program and making sure everybody's using that when they're out cleaning. Let's make sure we're reading what the client's requests are and doing
Right.
whatever the clients, is asking for to make sure that they're happy. And way less about, the technician. Now now you move into the people management aspect of it,
Right.
of course. But yeah, I mean, it ultimately allows people to scale from whatever area and whatever basis they want to start to scale from, whether it's a part-time side hustle into, someone as a master franchise. I mean, that's a full-time gig. You're running a full-blown sales department. You can decide whichever path you
Right.
want. It's kind of a, choose your own adventure.
Yeah, and well, and I mean, I've got $2 still in the house, right? One's soon to be 17, one's 14, and they're looking at what they want to do after high school and stuff. I could see somebody going, say, I'm not college bound, that's not my thing, but I kind of see the vision here, and so they could work for a unit franchise person. They could be the on their kind of where you started, and see if this is something they want to do, and go, you know what? I could do this. So now they could start their own unit franchise and start building their own business doing that and avoid the whole college thing that's not right for everybody, right?
Right. Exactly. And that's actually extremely common as someone works for a unit franchise initially, gets their feet wet, learns the ropes of, the cleaning business and says, wait a minute, I could do this myself and hire my own crew and get everybody, and now it's my business rather than making somebody else a bunch of money.
Right. No, I love that because how many people do you know that I know who've tried to start internet-based businesses that are I'm going to sell products on Amazon. It's like, yeah, whatever. They just don't have the whole thing. You're saying you don't need the whole thing. If you don't want, start
Right.
here.
Right.
And grow and figure out, do you want what do you want? And you've got a great model. And praise God they brought out Diaper Genie because I can't imagine going with those diapers. But um, that's really cool. Now you said something about in the award, your number 3 franchise under 50,000. What does that mean? Under 50,000 franchises, or what does that mean?
Under 50,000 franchise fee.
Okay.
So there's franchise fees depending on, range from I mean, just in the world of franchising, right? I mean, they range from, 15, 20,000 typically all the way up to, 100 plus thousand. I mean, it depending
Right.
on what kind of franchise you're buying. The Anago Master franchise is, kind of your high ticket item. It's 98,000. But you own, like, for example, I live in South Florida. The South Florida master franchise is Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. It's not some little zip code. You have 6 million people in your territory.
Yeah.
So it's huge. It's for that business builder mentality kind of person.
Right.
At the unit level, I mean, unit franchises start for a couple $1,000s down. I mean,
Wow.
it's extremely inexpensive to get in. And it's a low barrier to entry, low cost way to live the American dream and start somewhere without
Right.
having to, you can, kind of, if you really want, you can keep your day job and say, I'm just doing this to, like I said, make a couple extra bucks. Or a lot of times people do that and go, I'm making way better money doing this than my day job. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Job.
absolutely. Well, and the cool thing that in doing it that way as a side gig to begin with, you're not the one out trying to sell it and everything. You just know that when I'm done at 5 o'clock, I'm going to start at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock or whatever, and I've got 2 buildings to do tonight or whatever it is, right? And
Right.
you just know. And fortunately, somebody else is doing all the dirty work of selling and all that. You're fulfilling. And it's almost, we call it at my house. I do dishes at night most of the time, and I tell my wife it's therapeutic. It's just Michael time of doing dishes. I could
Yeah.
totally see this being therapeutic to people coming out
Oh,
of a corporate job going, oh, I need to empty some garbage cans.
you put the headphones in. No one usually, it's after hours. No one's in the office, and you just get some stuff done and make a couple extra bucks.
Dude, I love this. I am so glad you came on. This is really a cool um, idea. Okay, so uh, how do people find out more about Anago and things? I mean, where would they go if they said, okay, this is super intriguing, whether they want to be a regional franchise or whether they want to be a unit or whether they want to be an employee someplace? What would they do to take that next step?
So it's just as simple as visit our website. It's Anago Cleaning, ANAGO cleaning.com. And then they have a dedicated button right on the top right about franchise, and then it spells out the differences between the opportunities with the unit and the master franchise, and you can learn more. I mean, heck, if someone wants to message me, I'm super active on LinkedIn, so just type in Adam Povlitz and shoot me a note. I'm happy to shoot you a note back and put you in touch with the right person. But there's a lot of great ways, and we'll, and wherever you are in the country, we can set you up with whatever opportunity you're looking for.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, we're gonna grab that and put all of those in the show notes so that as you're listening to this, you can go back and check out Anago Cleaning. A really neat idea for franchise opportunities or for really side gigs to start out there. It's just really a superb opportunity to start with that entrepreneurial bug, or if you're a real good entrepreneur anyway, to get into another business and either be the tactician who's cleaning or the one who's owning a market. You've really opened it up for lots of people, Adam, and thanks for doing that. How cool, what a great way to serve the community in the business population, man.
Yeah, no, it's super rewarding, especially when someone says, "Hey, I was able to put that down payment on my house because I took up this side gig," or "Hey, I was able to put my kid through college." I mean, that,
That's it.
forget about the business. That's the real reward, frankly. And so when people
Yeah.
are looking to create that side hustle, live the American dream, if I can just be a page in the chapter, I'm happy to help.
That's awesome. All right, Adam, man, thank you so much for what you do. Thanks for being my guest today on Experts Speak. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.